film.
Thank you.
This script was written by Paul Haggis.
Mm-hmm.
When it came into your hands, had $1 Million Baby won the Oscar yet?
No, $1 Million Baby hadn't come out yet.
Okay. You were aware of it, though?
I was aware of it. It had just been made. So I was aware of its existence. But I didn't really, honestly, I didn't really know Paul's work that well.
Okay.
And I read this script, and I remembered calling my agent and saying, Paul Haggis, what an amazing writer. And she happened to represent him. She said, I know. He wrote $1 Million Baby. I said, oh, right, I've heard about that movie, which our producers also produced, Lakeshore, Tom Rosenberg and Gary Lucchese. But I really just fell in love with the script and the opportunity to make a movie that could be really funny and really entertaining and really honest about relationships and life and not sugarcoating. Just the opportunity to tell a story that's has emotional honesty to it was really appealing to me.
And you're an actor yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So as a director, what's your process of getting the best performances out of other actors?
Well, when I directed my first film, A Walk on the Moon, I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. And I said, well, what would be my dream director as an actor? What are the qualities I've most craved in a director? And what kind of creative environment would I feel most at home as an actor? And it all had to do with collaboration. Being able to, I know what I want in terms of what story I want to tell, but you're only as good as the people you work with, and you hire all these incredibly talented people, and so it's about saying to them, what are your ideas? Mm-hmm. What is your instinct? What do you feel like you want to do? And so actors hear that, and they're like, well, all right, and they, it gives them a sense of real freedom, and then you can work with that, and I always want the idea that I haven't thought of,
Do you have that moment, though? We all hear about the Hollywood movies where there's so many cooks in the kitchen and everyone has a vision. Do you still have that moment where you go, okay, here's the line, and
yes.
I'm steering the boat?
Absolutely. You have to. I mean, I erred in the, I went too far initially as a director because I would just kind of be like, I want everyone's opinion,
right.
And then it can run amok. The ship can be sort of rudderless. So you have to always be clear on guiding it, but it's really not hard. It's really like guiding. I kind of feel like it's like being on a locomotive, and you've got all these big engines going, and all you need to do is gently steer the train and keep it on the rails and guide it. And actors crave that. It's no good to be a director who says, well, I don't know, what do you want to do? You have to come in with a very strong sense of guidance, I guess is what it is. You know what I mean? And a lot of times I'll talk a lot with actors and say, here's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? Okay, well, here's who I think this person is, and how does that hit you so that you're very much on the same page when you get to the set? We're in sync about what we're trying to achieve and what story. And if they have ideas that I don't agree with, I'll say, well, this is what I was thinking, this is why, so that they can either disagree with me, because it's no good being in separate places. It's all about everyone having a common vision of what you're trying to achieve.
The producers looked at A Walk on the Moon,
mm-hmm.
which is your first feature,
right.
and said, okay, this guy, he's the type of director we're looking for The Last Kiss. What were they responding to, do you think?
I think that, again, similarly with A Walk on the Moon, what that movie has, I think, is, again, emotional honesty and kind of trying to look at the struggles that one goes through in relationships and marriage and be honest and have a sense of humor about it, and sexy too. That it looks at sexuality in a real, honest way. And I think that what Gary and Tom responded to in A Walk on the Moon was it felt real and honest and was told in a story with humor and it was also erotic but in a way that was lifelike. And I think that's what they wanted.
That being your first film, this being your second film.
Third. I did one in between called Someone Like You. Yeah,
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's all right.
Your third film.
That's okay.
What did you, on each film, I'm sure you learned something different, and you say something, to yourself, I'm never going to do that again. Were there any of those things that you brought to this and you thought, okay, I nailed that better here?
Yeah, well, with A Walk on the Moon, that was a project that really came from my heart and worked for years to get it off the ground. And every fiber of that movie I was in love with. And my second film, Someone Like You, which is a fun movie, was really a job for hire, and it seemed like a commercial thing, and it was a studio film, and nothing against it, but it wasn't something that was speaking of my heart and soul, that I really had something to say. And so as a result, I didn't feel that movie spoke so personally to me. So with Last Kiss, it really did. And I was sort of like going back to how I felt about A Walk on the Moon. I really felt there was something I had to say in this film. And as a result, everything about it is very personal to me. And as a piece of work, whether people respond to it or not, that I can look at and go, that, I see myself on the screen as like a child or something. And that I realized in this was very important to me as a filmmaker to always do.